It's Dean Biersch from HopMonk Tavern, and welcome. This is our mothership property in Sebastopol. The building behind me is stone and timber from a local quarry built in 1903. It's one of two historic buildings downtown. I was drawn to it right away when I came out here in 2007 for Apple Blossom, and I've been here a couple of times, but I took a close look on that visit, and I love the fact that Bill DeCarly, who you're going to meet in a minute, was a bartender at the time, became general manager of this property, and is now our director of entertainment after all these years. And also Patrick Malone was here spinning. Patrick's our talent buyer for the Abbey, which I'm standing adjacent to right now. And it's kind of cool that we have all this continuity through the years, not just with a great building, but with some great people here locally. So now we're inside in the Tavern bar, and I've got a little story to tell about how this all came about. I had it in my mind to create this HopMonk idea of serving all the best craft beers in the marketplace, doing it with really tasty food, building a big beer garden, and overlaying it with live music. And so it was kind of hard to find a great location. And I was on a very short break on a Saturday, and I was looking at a site with a friend of mine in Santa Rosa, and I found out that maybe this site out here would be available. Would I be interested? And at the time, my kids were really young. My oldest daughter, I think, was 12, and the twins were 9, and I was my single dad days. And I had X amount of time before I needed to be back to rescue the babysitter. And so we popped out here. I had to look very quickly, but I knew right away that this had all the elements, what I was looking for. And the place was going off. It was Apple Blossom. And I ordered a beer, and the first thing I see is this guy right here.
Yeah, here's your beer, Dean. All right, buddy. Hey, man, cheers. The 6 foot safety clink of the glasses. Yeah, it's just like old times. I remember this.
How many years? A lot of years.
Yeah, 13 years. Oh, actually, that was probably 14 years ago. Yeah. Yeah, it's been a while. Boy, it's been a ride.
So the idea was just basically to create a few different elements here. One is this rustic tavern, and again, during the down phase, we're taking advantage of the chance to refinish floors and do high painting and clean everything to the nines. But when it's done, it's meant to be just a shared space, a really nice rustic tavern next to an expansive beer garden, and with a music venue. And I think the thing that we were most surprised about was the relationship between the beer garden and the venue, so that when we do a big show, we've got breaks between sets, we've got a whole social scene before and afterwards outside, and then we take it inside and have, hopefully an amazing show, and come back out and have cocktails or dinner or whatever kind of evening you're trying to have. Which way to the beer garden? So you're looking at our beer garden now. This is the main reason I wanted to do this project, because with the L-shaped building, it's just surrounded by great walls, and we don't get a lot of wind or weather in here. So seats about 200 before we divide it in half and multiply by 6 or whatever they tell us we can do from here on out. But it's a beautiful social space. We have 2 stages, the original Johnny Downer stage, and then our West Beer Garden we opened about 7 or 8 years ago. So this is our West Beer Garden stage, also known as
the Uncle Bill
stage.
Right.
Tell us about Uncle Bill.
Yeah, Uncle Bill. We have music out here on the weekends during the summer, spring, summer, fall, and Uncle Bill was one of the people who played on this stage first, and he played here more than anybody up until, by far, up until the time of his passing. And that's unfortunately one of the ways you get a stage named after you here is when you pass away. So we have the Uncle Bill stage here, then we have the Johnny Downer stage over in the other corner of the beer garden. Right. And yeah, he was a local musician, much loved and respected in the music community here in the West County.
You remember the show that we had? We had the whole garden full for Citizen Cope.
Oh, yeah.
That was awesome.
That was awesome for sure.
That was one of the great shows on the stage. And this stage started as a smaller stage and it's gotten bigger. And, it's got the fire pit.
Hey now, come on down, oh it's Friday night. Won't you come round, come on down, let's go out tonight. Won't you come down, come on down, let's go out tonight.
So we're in the Abbey now. And I mean, I love a project, but this is a project because it needs to be a project right now. We have some time on our hands, so we're obviously deconstructing everything, cleaning, doing whatever we have to do to put it back together and make it even better than it was. But we'd much rather be putting a show on right now, I can tell you that. It's adjacent to the beer garden. I think that's what makes it kind of magical. I mean, it's a great space. It's got 22-foot ceilings. It's all acoustically managed, I guess you'd say. We've sort of done whatever we could to make this a great room. And it even has a kind of a hollow floor situation. Remember, Bill, from the original construction.
Right.
And that gives it some bounce.
Yeah, when you go back before it was HopMonk, this was actually a sunken floor. And there was on the perimeter, there was seating and people would dance in here.
And come down and you're facing the opposite way.
Right, the stage was on the opposite end of the room in front of some bathrooms.
Right.
Right.
Which made the room a lot smaller.
A lot smaller.
Yeah.
But yeah, so now built up the floor and it's hollow under here. Mm-hmm. So when we do EDM or electronic dance music, there's a lot of, it's very bass heavy, right? We have those subwoofers right there that feed right into the floor, and the floor actually acts as kind of a drum head. So when you're standing here and there's a lot of whomp going on, you can feel the hair on your legs and other parts of your body just bouncing all over the place.
I mean, it's brought a lot of great shows for us.
Oh boy, how's it ever?
Yeah.
A lot of great memories in this room, and we're going to make a bunch more.
Yeah.
Yeah.
God willing. So we're in the green room now. Again, we're in Sebastopol, the Abbey's green room. If these walls could talk.
Yeah, it's actually better that they can't, I think.
I mean, I'm just on this wall. A few favorites. Charlie Hunter, the Pimps of Joy Time. I remember them pulling in a van out here in the early days, putting on a great show. Cracker, tons of juke joint shows. Chris Berry, Little Feat.
Yeah, Little Feat.
Poor Man's Whiskey.
Yeah.
Leon Russell.
Yeah. Yeah, if you look up behind Dean's head, you'd see Leon Russell up there and Jefferson Starship. Both of those posters were made by Stanley Mouse, who, if you don't know, has been a poster artist in San Francisco Bay Area since the 60s. Since the 60s, and did multiple album covers, I think, for the Grateful Dead and a Journey. He's just a treasure here in the Bay Area. But anyway, so yeah, those two, and one of my favorite moments was we had Leon Russell, Reverend Horton Heat,
Oh.
and Elvis, Igor the Red Elvises.
The Red Elvises.
Right. So we had all of their buses in the parking lot at the same time, and Leon Russell comes in to watch Reverend Horton Heat, and it was just like it was incredible, the energy that night. That was probably one of my very favorite nights. Yeah.
Pretty special stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I'm looking at Cast of Clowns, which is just a great jam show. That's going years back. Grateful Bluegrass boys, you see them all over now, but those were in the early days when they were here. Well, we had a lot of great shows with Jackie Green. In fact, there used to be a kind of a fixed Christmas season series of shows that we did. We kind of knew Jackie would move beyond us pretty quickly, and that's been the case, but those are some great shows. You know, aside from all those great national touring bands that we've had from the get-go, you know, we've done a ton of local stuff.
Oh, wow.
And I mean, you handled the original open mic, I mean, going all the way back, which is one of the larger open mics in Sonoma County, and been a lot of faces have come up from there, and then ended up doing shows here, moving along.
Yeah, I think I started that open mic. We'd been open maybe 6 weeks or 2 months, something like that.
That's about right.
And yeah, you know, we get on average still today 20 people signing up for it. A lot of people just kind of getting their legs, you know, learning how to write songs and how to perform. And one of those guys was actually David Lunning. If you go back, it's been about 10 years ago now. And he would come in, and I was watching this guy and went, boy, he's pretty good. And then I was noticing more and more people were showing up to see him. And it went from like 6 people coming to see him to another 20, 25 people.
Now that you mentioned that, I remember sitting out here at Night Beer Garden, and you came out and said, hey, you really got to check out this kid, David Lunning. You know, we should start a record label. And I looked at you and I'm like, how do we do that? And we never really got around to it.
No.
But it's a thrill. Just last week, we had David live streaming, and that relationship goes all the way back to our open mic.
And that's one great thing about this venue is we catch them up on the way up quite often.
Yeah.
And we're actually playing a very important role in the success that they're enjoying today. Maybe not today, but on a normal day, you know. This room, it's very organic. Nobody planned this out. You might be able to tell by looking at the walls that there wasn't a lot of thought put into how these posters, and there's graffiti on the walls where artists have just signed the walls or done little bits of art. This is a very special place. It's almost sacred in my heart.
It's kind of funny because we've talked about at different times turning this building into another bar, doing some different things with it, but this would be a lot to give up. You know, all the years.
I think anything we would do, we'd have to build it around this.
I think so. Hey, so thanks, Kim, for indulging us and going for a little tour of HopMonk Sebastopol. It was great to show you around. Hope you enjoyed it. So, and remember, we do have food to go, beer and cocktails by the jar. You can just go online and order that way, or give us a call at the Tavern.
Yeah.
Bill, you got any parting shots?
Well, I just want to say, just remember, there's no substitute for being there.
Come out when the time is right.